Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk to you about how MGTOW has red-pilled the world and all of the strife, all of the chaos, all of the political division, all of the media, censorship, and indoctrination. MGTOW started it all. Before the term the red pill even existed in the mainstream media, MGTOW was here. MGTOW was the first break from the matrix. MGTOW was quietly teaching men to question the scripts they were given, especially in relationships, marriage, and gender roles. And this is hardly surprising, since the men were being and are being destroyed in these traditional roles. So MGTOW is at the heart of all of this. Look, MGTOW starts on the personal level. The man is realizing that he doesn't have to play a rigged game. Family courts, the schools, the government, the media, it's all a rigged game. And the man is suspecting that. Any man who's been through the system and has, some age and some experience behind him is saying to himself, holy shit, I did all of this right and I got destroyed in it. And there's no way out. There's no way forward for me through this. Once the men realized that they were being lied to about the women, about the relationships, they started to ask themselves, what else have I been lied to? Now, I've been in a struggle trying to talk about how MGTOW really is the quest for freedom. That's what it is. It's when America separated from Great Britain, it was essentially saying, you can't exploit us. We want a fair deal. This has to be a fair exchange, or there is going to be no exchange. This is the basis of freedom. If somebody isn't treating you fairly, walk away. Go your own way. Don't do business with somebody who's trying to cheat you. As I said, it goes and starts at the personal awakening. It's the individual man who realizes that he's been screwed over and he has nowhere to turn. And in desperation, in looking, he finds MGTOW, a group of men who are saying, yes, you got screwed over. Yes, you did everything society expected of you. Yes, you did everything the relationship expected of you, and you still got screwed over and cheated, and it's still continuing. This is about refusing to sacrifice yourself to a system that doesn't even value you. This evolves into questioning the larger system. How is this possible? Why is it that everybody in my family has turned against me and believes this woman who is a narcissist and is just destroying everything based on momentary emotional whims? So the man is asking, how the hell did this happen? Yeah, she was really pretty when you first met her, but how did the rest of the world end up going along with it? The relationship starts out where it's you and her against the world, and it doesn't take long before it's her and the world against you. Men began to connect the dots. If family law, if media, corporations can collude and exploit men, what's stopping them from manipulating everything else? That is your elections, that is your school system, that is your legal system, that is your family courts. I mean, honestly, if there is a single man out there who thinks he's being treated fairly in this system, please comment in my comment section. Please tell me, because I think, look, it's an illusion. It would be the exception. You must understand that 95% of us are destined to be destroyed and just ground up. It's a slaughterhouse. Open your eyes. This was the message. You're not crazy. So this has been going on, as I said, starting on a personal level. But then the man begins to question the larger level. And this is what you've been seeing. And this is what the MGTOW men have been seeing. And they didn't, and for the most part, they don't even connect it. They say, oh no, one has nothing to do with the other. My individual personal freedom and my values have nothing to do with the societal group values, with the nation's values, with the world's values. These things that have destroyed and undercut me, well, this is just an individual instance of this just happening. Bullshit. Open your eyes. This is going on all around you. And you better know And this is to the people. It's coming for you too. Yeah, sure. First, it's coming for the good men. It destroys them first. When you want to go socialist, what do you do? You seize the means of production. Who do you seize it from? You seize it from the people who have been productive. And that's the men. The men have been running the system, running the show. And in the individual lives, it's being destroyed and torn away from them. The very concept of a good man, it's gone. Go ahead, type it into Google, see what kind of pictures and images you get back. See what the media feeds back to you if you say to them, what is a good man? I thought my father was a good man, took care of me, did right by me, but no, toxic masculinity. So with this constant barrage of propaganda and indoctrination from the entire media, it's not just you and your girlfriend. That's not all that's going on here. The men have lost their trust in the system, and rightly so. Like, don't do business with somebody who's not doing, fair business with you. And as a result, the mainstream media has lost its monopoly on men's minds. Notice how desperately it tries to cling on to the rest of the population's minds. Notice how it feeds them the hate. Does this sound familiar? I mean, do you guys, shall we go into what demagoguery really is? Feeding the hate and the resentment of a class of people who don't want to be productive and do the hard work, and instead just want to give free rein to their hatred and their rage and their impulses. Tell me if this doesn't sound familiar. Tell me if this isn't exactly what you're feeling when you get into a conversation with some woke, blue-pilled person. And you know that they're going to win that argument. So MGTOW was the first online community where men spoke openly about topics that the mainstream media refused to touch. You understand? Yeah, this part you understand. I have always supported all aspects of MGTOW. I am not involved in just whipping up hatred and finding things to complain about and creating interpersonal problems, whether this person agrees with that person and stuff like that. I don't need any part of that. But you understand that it's a trap, that it pulls the people in, that you can destroy and scatter their minds and their values and their impulses and their expectations through the use of media and institutions. And now all you've got is a bunch of infighting. Now all you have is a bunch of people all interested in their own little goals, right? Because it's just about the individual man. No, part of it, we're in this together. Yeah, it starts out as an individual man, but I hope you see what's going on in the world, and I hope you understand it. By rejecting these approved narratives, the men stopped consuming the corporate media and started to rely on independent creators, forums, and uncensored discussion. That's why they're trying to take it back. YouTube has rolled out a whole new set of policies about age verification, requiring your ID, requiring that you have a credit card on file. It's obscene. It's obnoxious. It's a power grab that we haven't seen in ages. And they're going to withhold your online content from you in order to get your compliance. And here's the thing, of course, I'm not talking about you individually. They're going to withhold it from the people. And the people are freaking addicted to their content. I find myself watching more and more short form content, and it worries me. It's like, I don't think this is going in a good direction. By seeing the truth, by recognizing the unfairness of your situation, how men are being treated, it breaks the spell. Millions of men realize the news wasn't there to inform them, but to shape them. And the media itself is the message. So media doesn't even have to tell you anything. All it has to do is give you 15, 5-second, 30-second little blobs of entertaining sounds and colors, and the human mind is scattered down with the ability and the level of a goldfish. So the man who could create symphonies and great novels, now, no, they can't even make a halfway decent TikTok video because they've been watching the TikTok videos. By breaking this spell, MGTOW, way back 2015, 16, 17, this was the beginning of the crack. This is the crackening, and you're seeing it now. And my MGTOW subscribers out there, you're thinking, this has nothing to do with MGTOW. No, this is directly related to MGTOW. I can promise you that. I don't know how you couldn't have seen that coming from ages ago, that the seed of the discontent within the men and the rebellion and the turning away from the conventional ways and the media and the expectations of them, which had been abusing them for so long, is in fact the beginning of questioning the whole system. And now you are seeing the desperation of the mainstream media, of the system, of those in power, trying to hold on to their power and control. And if you're a young person coming up through this system, what else could you be expected to buy into? It's an indoctrination center, and it's to destroy the individual. And the system wants 95% of the people to just be meaningless cogs in a system who just go from one feeling to another, controlled by memes and triggers and news broadcasts and media events and holidays, patriotic events, the news stories. They're competing memes. So as the left pushes the Epstein narrative, which is damaging to Trump, well, the right starts to push the whole bunch of lies of Russiagate and the idea that some of these people have committed actual political crimes and need to be brought to trial. So it's a competition of memes. It's a competition of a narrative, of a story to capture the mind of the individual. And this individual, they've grown up in the system. So you can't be like, well, why did they fall for that? It's like, because that's all they know. They don't know what they don't know. But after years of suffering through the system, they come to an understanding. They come to MGTOW. This is why MGTOW is so fundamentally important, but it's big picture too. So at some point, questioning the institutions will become the default. Like you can see that now. It's happening. You can feel there's a turn in the air. The election of Trump. The death of DEI and wokeism. Questioning the system becomes the default, not going along with the system. And it was MGTOW that taught the men that the institutions are not neutral. They are avatars for the status quo. And understand the psychology of man. We want to argue for the status quo, right? No, things are fair. Things are going to be okay. Just keep going. Don't worry, this is what we do. And so the man goes with the system. He falls in love. He gets married. He tries to build a life for himself. But the woman gets bored, or she wants to try something different, or she just doesn't feel like it anymore. And the man is like, this is absurd. This is like building your home on melting ice, over a big pond. It's like, it's gonna melt. It's gonna collapse. And the horrific part of this is that the institutions, the places that we're looking to for help, for guidance, they're not neutral. They're actually against us. What do you guys think about the British government, the UK? Please explain to me what the hell is going on over there. Because as best I can tell, the government is bringing violent Muslim extremists into the country. They're attacking the children of the country. The local population is getting upset and saying, we won't stand for this. And the local government is arresting the citizens of their own country that don't want to see their children attacked. I mean, have I got that wrong? Am I missing something here? And they're putting people in jail for posting on social media when they say, I don't think this is right. And they're letting violent criminals loose because they want to be kind to the cruelest of people so that they can virtue signal. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's my understanding of what's going on here. Okay, listen, the family court system is stacked against the men. The HR departments are stacked against the men. They're there to enforce ideological conformity. Understand, we have two modes. We have a mode of conformity, okay, where we enforce the rules and go along. These are stupid people. And then we have people who are innovators, who create new things, who find new ways of looking at things. So far as I can tell, the British government has made it illegal to disagree with that. From what I understand, they're trying to abolish the whole idea of trial by jury. Yeah, that can save your life. So the universities, the men grow up being taught that they're toxic. Their very nature, their very character, their very tendency to explore and to look for new things, they're being punished for it. They're drugged for it. They're told this is toxic. You can't get a job. So if a person believes in the truth and believes in freedom and is willing to stand up for these things, it's like, no, we don't want people like that. That's what the system says. We want people to conform. And of course, it's always been built like that. But it's gotten so bad, as I said, the governments, the institutions, the media are actually against their own citizens. And if I'm wrong, tell me. Please leave me a comment that's, like you don't know what you're talking about. You're just, doing a bunch of crazy ranting. Please put it in the comments section and maybe we can open up a dialogue. Although I'm sure you think it's way too late for that. But I think I have a surprise in store for you. I think the world has a surprise in store for you. What I'm talking about is a ripple effect that goes way beyond gender. The MGTOW mindset spreads beyond the idea of dating or one guy going out and having relationships. This is the MGTOW mindset for the world now. And it's against the institutions. It's against the government. It's against the legal system. It's against the media. It's against the entertainment. It's against your Hollywood movies. Because they're not trying to entertain you. They're not trying to inform you. They're not trying to educate you. They're trying to indoctrinate you. They're trying to propagandize you. They're trying to intimidate you into becoming a cog in your own life, a meaningless, broken excuse for a human being. That's what they're trying to turn us into. And so the dating market is rigged. And maybe the economic system is rigged, the man thinks. Look, it's rigged, okay? Simply put, if you have more money, the women are more attracted to. So what does that tell you? I like the show Undercover Boss, right? The boss comes in and pretends to be a lowly worker and sees how his employee, the people that are his employees actually treat his employees. So you think you want to get married, huh? Right? Well, if marriage is a trap, well, maybe consumer debt is a trap too. Maybe being a consumer, this idea that you're going to buy something and it's going to make you feel better. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe, it's not the worst idea in the world, but maybe the system's rigged there too, right? And you've got to know, like even the women know what's actually going on, but they pretend that they don't because it's to their advantage. And the idea of true love, the idea of, a strong man by her side, that's a joke. That means nothing to her. Anything a man can do, she can do better. And everybody around her will back her up on that. Except when it comes time to, the physical reality of actually doing it, she can't. She can stand there and cry. She can watch it all fail. She can watch it all come breaking down and crashing down. And that's what you're watching. Yeah, keep an eye on the UK government. We'll see. But I've got a bad feeling about it. So MGTOW was the initial reaction. MGTOW begins the chain reaction. Because as I said, every man growing up in the system accepts the system as true, as valid, as good. And he tries to work through the system. And some men succeed, but very few. And eventually they do not. And then the realization of MGTOW comes in. But this is not our first rodeo. We've been through this. So naturally, the question becomes, what is the best way forward for men now? And yeah, it is MGTOW. It is a man going his own way. Now, for me, does this mean absolutely no relationships with women? No, it doesn't mean that. Not to me, but it certainly means that if she's not an equal partner who's contributing into the situation like a fair deal, then there is no relationship. And there won't be any relationship. There won't be any interaction unless I establish that first. MGTOW have become the early adopters of alternative news, of crypto, of decentralization, of homesteading, of rejecting corporate jobs. Now, this is dangerous because now we have no way to support ourselves. So I have no way to publish my book. I have no way to release my video because it offends the blue pill world. So this is the way forward. And MGTOW is the early training ground. Like you thought, okay, now I'm MGTOW. That's it. It's like, no. This is not the end. This is the beginning. This is where the real fight starts. And it isn't just about gender. It's about the future. And it's about seeing the full picture because you're going to lose everything. It's not just against the men. Understand that once they take out the men, then they take out certain other groups and so on and so on. In other words, they indoctrinate everybody. They destroy everybody. They destroy everyone's life. They take everyone's freedom. And these are the tools to now stand up and fight back. These are the tools for you to defend yourself. This is the beginning. MGTOW MGTOW, the great content creators, have given men the intellectual tools that they need, the insight to know that they're being played, that they're being manipulated. Oh, you feel like shit? I'll bet you do, bro. Damn right you do. You should. You've been treated like shit, and the whole system is laughing. And I'm not trying to upset you. What I'm saying is that, welcome to the party. Let's turn it around. Let's make a difference. Now that we see how bad it can become if we just go along with the system, let's start applying some critical thinking to this, not your feelings. I know that this video might upset, some of my listeners. Let's start evaluating risk assessment. Is this juice worth the squeeze? And the answer is, with the trashy propagandized female, the answer is no. It's certainly not. With the corporate job where you have to basically fill a cog in the machine, this now becomes your individual call, doesn't it? Maybe you can do some, maybe you shouldn't do anything. We're talking about a cost-benefit analysis of life choices, not just a business deal, but of life choices. We need to see the bigger picture. Once these tools that we here in MGTOW are developing and honing and embodying, once these tools are applied to politics and history and culture, we will begin to reawaken in mass. You can see that's what Trump is trying to do. The anti-wokeism, the anti-DEI, the idea of individual merit and a meritocracy. This is the heart of, looking past people's skin color and gender and judging them based on the content of their character. You know that. And this is what the strong man and the good person, even the woman, stands up for. So it can get better. Things can get better. Listen, the system is afraid of MGTOW. There's a reason why is a video about Beyonce's Big Behind getting 10 million views? And why are the videos that talk about the political problems in the parts of the world where people are suffering, they get no views? Because, so you understand that the system is afraid of the free individual, that it doesn't want the free-thinking, strong, independent man. You understand. MGTOW is one of the only movements in the world that actually encourages open debate. Try to do it anyplace else, you will simply be smeared and ignored. You will be mocked. You will be belittled. You will be canceled. Now, there's early parts of MGTOW, beginning parts, of the red pill rage, where we see some of that behavior, but most of the men work through, they come to understand that their individual anger and rage, something of which I am a little familiar, isn't the only thing in the world. Here's the thing, telling men that they can opt out threatens every system built on male labor, male taxes, male compliance, male protection, male sacrifice. You can opt out. If it's not a fair deal, you don't have to go along with it. Now you say, but Howard, it's the only deal in town, right? I've got to have a job. Yeah, you do. I understand. But being aware of all this, you also have to build the alternative, and not just for yourself. You have to build it for the younger men coming up, because they won't know the difference. As this becomes more mainstream, they will question by default. They will distrust by default. It is changing, but they need tools. They need avenues. They're not going to make it. You got to know that. You got to be concerned with yourself. I understand. But a man who has gone his own way is free in a way that terrifies the system. I can look and see another MGTOW by the way he carries himself, by the way he holds himself. And they might even be married. So don't start giving me all that bullshit. You know what I mean? It's retarded. The question isn't whether or not a man conforms to your expectations. The question is whether or not a man is true to himself and supports himself and takes care of himself and defends himself and stands up for himself. And if he's that kind of a man, then we have something to learn from him. And if he's not that kind of a man, but he's got a lot of money and he's really popular, he's a piece of shit. He's nothing. And he knows it when he looks at himself in the mirror. Okay, I feel a little better now. See, I don't get to talk in public. I'm out there in the groups of people. I don't get to talk. Howard Dare doesn't get to say anything. Howard Dare starts to talk and people start getting uncomfortable. Excuse me. This reminds me of my 6-hour live streams. I was like, oh, you mean with other people and other guests, Howard? Talking about videos and other subjects? No, just an endless, consistent rant. I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of worried about myself. So I definitely want to look into some of the better ways forward for men and to help the young men who are coming up through the system and have no way to know that the system is exploiting them. Let me know what is the best way for men to move forward. What can we do as MGTOW to build a system so that other men are not destroyed by this system. Whenever I start to talk about helping others, I get a lot of negative feedback like, oh no, this is just an individual philosophy. You can't do stuff like that. Bullshit. If I could put you all to work on MGTOW content and we could make money on it, I would share those profits with you. And when a man like me says something like that, the system gets scared because you understand that by aligning our interests, by saying, let's do what works for you, what helps you, and what helps me, and what helps the next man, let's make money off of that, and let's build and grow that. It's like, well, that's the end of their system, isn't it? That's the seed that will replace their system. So that's why you're seeing the censorship. That's why you're seeing the media marketing bullshit campaigns. That's why you're seeing the governments turning against their own population and putting them in jail for speaking out for their own rights. That's what's going on. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, support my efforts here so that I can continue my efforts here. They put me in jail for 1.5 years and then held me under house arrest for 4.5 years. I am a dissident. I do need your support. I do have things to say. So I would appreciate your support. And I think we can take this to the next level. And I think we're going to have to take this to the next level. So join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.